Hey, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Brooks Wellness. I'm your fitness instructor and health coach, Jules Brooks, and we are coming back for our last meal together. So sad. But it will be one of the best meals that we have. And so the last meal that we are going to make is a home version of Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. So I hope y'all are ready for that. I got some folks coming over for an outside event, and it's just as well because I don't like to fry actually in the kitchen because it makes everything greasy. So I'd rather fry things outside. And so I'm going to go through the ingredients that we have, and then I'll take you into what we're going to do. We're going to have a little bit of prep work, not much. Really, we're just going to let the chicken sit for about an hour, and then we're going to bread it. And so I'm going to take you through the process of doing this. All right, so, and I'll go through it, I guess, in 3 sections. Basically, for the chicken, you're going to have one chicken breast, just some sesame seed buns. You can get something fancier. In fact, I would recommend that you do that, but this is what we got. Tomato. I have romaine lettuce because I really don't like to eat iceberg lettuce. Pickles and pickled juice. Cornstarch. Peanut oil, and we're probably going to use all of this. Panko breadcrumbs. If you've never had these before, get some because they're already crispy. Japanese style panko breadcrumbs. Of course, you're going to need some flour. And then for the Chick-fil-A sauce, you've got barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, honey, mustard, and a lemon. And that'll be what we use to make the sauce, and you will see the ingredients list right over there as I'm saying it. So that's all of the ingredients. Let's get into the cooking. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the cornstarch. We'll say about a tablespoon of cornstarch, and because we really just want this to coat the chicken. Pickle juice, and we are going to pour probably half a cup of pickle juice in there. A tablespoon of sugar. Okay, so stir those together. Alright, that's perfect. Okay. With a sharp knife. Okay, so now we've got our cutting board, and then we've got our slurry right here, and we have our flour. It's just unseasoned flour, and then we are going to put the chicken after it's floured into these bags. So that's the process. Now the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a sharp knife. Then you're going to take your chicken, put it on the cutting board, carefully put one hand on the top. This is why you need a sharp knife, and cut right through the chicken. You want these to be thin for the sake of cooking quickly. Then you're going to take the pickle juice, and you're going to just drop the chicken in there, roll it around in there, make sure it's covered. Actually, look at this one. That's nice. That's a nice thin chicken breast. That's like perfect right there. It'll fry up quick, be crispy on the outside and still juicy on the inside. That's really what you're going to want. Okay, so all of the chicken is in there. It's sitting in the cornstarch and vinegar, and it's just been sitting there for a couple of minutes. We're going to take it out, put it in the flour, just lightly batter it, shake off the excess batter, and then put them into the bags and put it back in the refrigerator so it can sit for a little bit. So that's the next step that we're doing. You've seen me do this before. Just remember, you have two hands. One is for picking up the chicken, the other one is for the flour. When you're using these bags, make sure that you roll the bag back like this, just for the sake of contamination. So open the bag, roll it open like that, then you can just drop the chicken in there. You don't have to worry about it making a mess on the top or contaminating anything else. And also with the cutting board, make sure that your cutting board is not wood when you're cutting chicken. just for the sake of salmonella. So you've seen me do this before. Just remember, 2 hands, one's for chicken, one's for flour. So you've got the flour here, and I'm gonna roll that open as well. And you're just taking a piece of chicken. Make sure it doesn't have any excess fluid on it. Drop it into the flour. Then with the other hand, you can roll it in the flour. And if you've seen me do this before, then you know one of your hands is gonna look pretty alien-like by the time you're done. There's nothing in this flour, no seasoning or anything like that. We'll put the seasoning on after it gets out of the refrigerator. And then take it and just drop it in here. And again, we're gonna let this sit and kind of cure, let the flour cure on the outside of the chicken. And then we'll put the panko breading and stuff on it after. All right, so there we go. That's it, lightly breaded, just like that. And there's my fingers. Again, that's the reason why you have 2 hands. One for the chicken, one for the breading. Okay, so we can go ahead and let this sit in the refrigerator for a little bit. Okay, now it's time for the special Chick-fil-A sauce. So we're gonna take some mayonnaise. And again, just like always, mayonnaise is the base of this, so it's the most, and then you're gonna just use everything else is a little bit less. 2 tablespoons of mustard, about the same amount of barbecue sauce, and about the same thing for honey, maybe 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. All right, and then you're gonna stick it in the refrigerator. Okay, so while we're letting that stuff sit, we might as well make the batter for our chicken. So we're gonna just use any remainder flour that's left over in this bag, some panko breadcrumbs, and we'll use 4 eggs, and we're gonna mix these things together, make the batter. We're gonna dip them into the panko breadcrumbs. All right, so here you go, crack 4 eggs. All right, we're gonna go ahead and salt, pepper this. Pepper. And we're just gonna add the rest of the flour in there. Okay, so we're gonna dip the chicken in here, and then we're gonna put them into, I'm gonna put the panko breadcrumbs into a bigger bowl, and we're gonna just bread them and lay them out and get them ready for frying. So you can also take this and put it in the refrigerator and just hold it, because the chicken isn't ready yet, and we haven't even turned on our heat or anything like that, and we'll get to that shortly. Open up breadcrumbs and go ahead and pour them in. So you can see they're already kind of crispy, which is the reason why they're so fluffy and delicious. Okay, so this is really the easy part. You're just putting some oil inside of here. I'm putting it all in there. This is about 4 cups of oil. It is 4 cups of oil. We're gonna go ahead and very shortly we're gonna put this out on the, I cook it on my grill, so I'll take you out there so you can see it. And but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing the chicken into the panko breadcrumbs and getting those all coated. Okay, so take the chicken that has been sitting in the refrigerator. All right, so then you're just gonna coat it. Let the excess egg wash off. You definitely don't want to have too much egg on there. You want this to be able to be coated nicely with the panko crumbs. So I'm just gonna let that drip off. All right, and then we're gonna drop it in the breadcrumbs and just make sure it's coated all the way. And then you just take a plate, put it on the plate, put it to the side. Really, ideally, you would just drop this right into the fryer. That'd be great. Okay, so I'm also gonna make slightly spicy ones. I've made a few of them, as you can see. So there's quite a few non-spicy ones, and we could just, if you want to make them spicier chicken sandwiches, add a little bit of spice. Okay, here we go. So you can see right now the oil is hot. Shake off any extra breading that you have on there. And then just drop it in. And you can see it's frying away. And one other thing with frying chicken, or frying anything, the more you put in there, especially if it's cold, the more it's going to drop the temperature of the oil, so you're going to have to wait and let the oil reheat kind of after every single time that you fry. So now we've got the chicken. Let me see if I can get it into that. There we go. Nice golden brown chicken right there. So we're going to make that into a sandwich, and then I'll take a shot of it and show you. All right, so here we go. So I got the bun, put some mayonnaise onto the bread, and we're going to put some of the Chick-fil-A sauce on there, which has been in the refrigerator. So we'll just put some of that in there. We'll put the tomato on there. Actually, you know what? We're gonna put the chicken in between, nice and crispy. Throw some lettuce on there. There we go. Not the neatest sandwich, but so there we go. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to get some test subjects to test it. So we're gonna go ahead and split this one in half. Look at that. Nice and juicy on the inside. There we go.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Actually, it's pretty good.